Date: F23, left me, M23, at the cinema. Hey everyone, I am very hurt and upset, so please bear with me as I'm typing this out. Recently I, M23, have been dating this girl, F23, and from what I know we really hit it off. So much so that she was the one that suggested a second date, which brings us to yesterday. Yesterday started off just fine. We met at the cinema, hung out and kissed beforehand. She seemed really happy to be around me. Then it came time to head into the screening room. Again, everything was fine at first, until she went to the bathroom. She went for quite a long time, and when she eventually came back, I asked her if everything was fine and she said yes. The film carries on without any problems until the very end, where she went to go to the toilet again. This time she texts me, "I've gotta run. So sorry. It's a work thing. Hope you get home safe." For context, she works at McDonald's. And I replied with, "Okay, please don't worry. Whereabouts are you now?" 4x, as I wanted to say goodbye in person, but as I went out into the lobby area, it was too late. She was already gone. From there I spent the next 20 minutes sat at a table not knowing what to do. I was just shocked. Later on that night I sent her a text saying that I hope she has fun like I did, but it's been left undelivered, all whilst she has been posting stories on Instagram. The whole thing has left me feeling upset, depressed, stressed and anxious to the point of feeling sick. I just feel completely empty. What are all your thoughts on this? You're too invested for a second datemate. The face she spent so much time in the bathroom but then came back out, then had to run after going a second time makes me think she may have just had the shits and doesn't know how to tell you. If she was trying to ghost you before the movie she wouldn't have came out and watched most of it. Don't ask for a third date and move on. That was not cool from her. Sounds like a shart dude. It's a fucked up thing to do to anyone. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Girlfriend, 30 female, of a year is upset I, 30 male, asked what was happening between us. TLDR. Girlfriend upset I asked why she was cold and distant. I'm, 30 meters, feeling very conflicted. My girlfriend, 30F, of a year stopped responding to my texts for multiple days at a time and blamed it on work. When I got back into town she asked for her spare key back for her mother to use. I found this odd. When I mentioned the lack of communication from her she told me there was a problem but she didn't want to talk about it. I said okay, take your time and willing to do anything to work on this. Fast forward a few days and we are on a date and towards the end she asks what should we do next and I suggest calling it a night and going home to either of our houses. She became cold and hesitant. When this happened I immediately said we need to talk about what's going on between us and she got extremely emotional and defensive. Again we didn't get anywhere. The following day she told me I had pushed her boundaries by asking what was going on. I feel bad about pushing her boundaries but also in limbo about our loss of communication and her coldness. She's breaking up with you, but hoping you're the one to say it. When your boundary is being asked why you are suddenly treating me like shit, it is inconsistent with our being in a relationship. We need to discuss whatever is bothering you before we hang out again. If that doesn't work for you, there is no need for us to continue this relationship. She's definitely distancing herself from you. I see a breakup happening. And she either wants you to do it or rather be immature by being avoidant. I typically think it's kind of a trashy thing to do but ghost her ass. This isn't a boundary. This is you trying to have an honest conversation about your relationship. What exactly is her boundary? She seems to be incapable of communicating like an adult. She is brushing you off, gaslighting you and dismissing your concerns. This is not someone you can have a healthy relationship with. She is only concerned about herself. I, 56 male, may take my wife, 56 female, off of my life insurance. Should I give her an ultimatum? I am not a fan of ultimatums, but my wife and I have been married for 2.5 years, together for 7 years. She has 2 types of leukemia, diabetes, and hydrocephaly. Everything is in remission. We each bring in about the same income. She is on medical disability and has $40,000 in life insurance, and unlikely to get more. Her son is her beneficiary. I am in reasonable health. I have over $100,000 in life insurance through work, twice that in AD&D. My wife is my beneficiary. If I die first, my income will stop, but she will have enough to pay off our mortgage and then some. She will still have her disability and retirement income. If she goes first, that income will stop. I will have to assume the mortgage bills, etc. I have a $10,000 policy on her through work, which will be about enough for a funeral. Her son makes about what both of us bring in. He doesn't need the money, but certainly could use it. He and I have a great relationship. I have discussed this issue with him, and he agrees with me. When I bring it up to her, she says that her son will just give me the money. This might happen, but I cannot take the chance. She also has said that she will get around to it. It's been 2 years and has not happened yet. She also calls me a vulture when I bring it up. I need to protect myself. I am inclined to give her a deadline to make this change, with proof. If she does not meet this deadline, I will change my beneficiary to my siblings. I will tell my wife that they will just give her the money, so I am soliciting opinions of this course of action, and maybe suggestions on options I may not have thought of. I live in Ohio, USA. Bring her son into the conversation. See if he will ask her to make the change. I am sorry you are going through this. Truly. No. Why start more argument? I would just go ahead with changing the beneficiary to your siblings and be done with it. Change the ultimatum, do what you have said and prove it, or I remove you from my health insurance and my life insurance. Then see how fast she aspects when she faces having to pay for her own medical bills. The son might give you the money, but he will be grieving. Having to give you the life insurance money when it eventually gets paid out will be so low down on his list of priorities. As a 60F wife and mother, I think you're good to make this reasonable ultimatum. Your wife cannot expect to be set financially if you were to die first, but not make you her beneficiary to give you the same financial cushion when you're bereaved. 2 years not changing the beneficiary is stalling, plain and simple. And unlike other commenters, I don't think it's too petty to turn her words back on her about trusting your beneficiaries to share or turn over the funds. Death and money never work out well. This is a reasonable request. She's even agreed to it, and is just dragging her feet. It's a peeve of mine when people say they're gonna do something and then just let it hang there.